In the headlines, Ministry of Agriculture hosts Environmental and Social Management Consultation of World Bank $25 million project, and 6th meeting of CARICOM Council of Ministers of Finance and Planning focuses on financial development of CARICOM member states. Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Kimani. Stay tuned for details of the headline stories and others after this. Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of Agriculture has begun to meet with various stakeholders who will stand to benefit from the World Bank's assistance to Dominica through the Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods and Climate Resilient Project. Post-Hurricane Maria, the World Bank assisted government with an $18 million grant to assist farmers to recover from the devastation brought on by Hurricane Maria. A post-disaster needs assessment confirmed that more than 90% of the agriculture sector was destroyed by the hurricane. The World Bank, after consultation with government, agreed to further support the re-establishment of the agriculture sector with an additional $25 million PAT grant, PAT loan funding. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Agriculture met with stakeholders to discuss the environmental and social management framework for this project.
That project will span a 5-year period. Where we are now as it relates to that project, we are preparing the project implementation unit to ensure that implementation of the activities can take place. We always, and we have to work within the prerequisites and the program set out by the World Bank. So we are actually having discussions with them.
The project will take into consideration 3 main components. The first component, restoration of the productive base for the recovery of agricultural livelihoods, has 3 sub-components: restoration of cropping systems, restoration of livestock and fisheries systems, and building of climate resilience and agribusiness capabilities.
This project is primarily looking at providing input support, and it will be done in a manner where there is co-financing by the beneficiaries. What I mean by that, because of the numbers of, or the amount of the target audience, there is the need to ensure that there's equity, if you may, in the distribution of the resources. So you will find that these commercial farmers, fishers, farmer organizations would have to put up some kind of equity, some kind of intervention. And I don't mean that you have to necessarily go to the bank, but you have human equity, you have interventions that you have already made post-Maria. All this will be summarized, and then you will get a kind of matching grant.
The second component, restoration of key productive infrastructure and institutional strengthening, has 2 sub-components: restoration of key infrastructure in agriculture, livestock and forestry, and institutional strengthening and capacity building. The World Bank is using Dominica's post-disaster needs assessment as the guiding document to restore the sector.
So from that PDNA, we saw that a lot of the government infrastructure, and we talk about agricultural stations, fisheries complexes, all the infrastructure that was already in place were destroyed. I mean, if you go across the island and look at the agricultural station, most of the infrastructure is down, starting from the Botanic Gardens all the way out to the northeast. All the buildings were destroyed, including the central livestock farm. So that second component will seek to restore a lot of that base. Some of the subcomponents include sustainable intensification and diversification of cropping systems. We will see sustainable fisheries and livestock development. Fisheries suffered significantly in terms of the number of boats that were destroyed. You will also see some intervention in terms of sustainable forestry management, and that will involve as well restoration of the forestry infrastructure. All the forest stations and the propagation centers within the Central Forest Range were all destroyed. For us to rebuild our agriculture, our country, forestry, the redevelopment of forestry is going to be very important.
The third component has to do with resilience building and improved market access, as well as agribusiness and value addition.
No longer can we continue to be primary producers of raw materials. So we came from a state pre-independence. During slavery, where we produced all the raw materials, we sent out our cocoa, coffee, or vanilla, sugarcane, bananas. We sent it all out, and we bought the products back. We are now saying, look, we need now start to look at value addition. So take that cocoa, turn it into cocoa powder. Take the sugarcane, convert it to sugar, syrup.
The beneficiaries of this project include farmers, rural producer organizations, agribusiness entrepreneurs, fishers, and forestry farmers. On Tuesday, the 6th meeting of the CARICOM Council of Ministers of Finance and Planning, COFAP, met in Barbados. The CARICOM Finance and Planning Ministers met to advance a number of development initiatives geared towards enhancing the use and operation of the single market economy. CARICOM heads of government at their July meeting in Jamaica mandated the COFAP to finalize a number of instruments by their meetings next year. These include an investment policy, an investment code, an incentive regime, and integrated capital market, beginning with model securities legislation. At that July meeting, the issue of macroeconomic measure support for developing the structure of CSME was at the fore. The meeting was convened under the chairmanship of Prime Minister and Finance Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Honorable Gaston Brown, who highlighted the great need of the CARICOM single market and economy in the development of all CARICOM member states.
The CARICOM single market and economy, the CSME, which we all recognize as the platform for growth and sustainable development. We also recognize that sustainable development can only be achieved if we all grow together. To this end, we must seek to harness the collective resources of the region, financial and natural resources, as well as our human capital for the benefit of the community. We have determined that we have a shared future. This perspective prevails throughout the revised Treaty of Shaakira, which sets out the rights and obligations accruing to CARICOM nationals, both individuals and businesses, as they participate in the CSME. Given our individual size, our limited resources, and interdependence, our very survival depends on the continuing journey towards a single market and economy, or run the risk of being marginalized from the global trade, economic, and financial systems.
Honorable Brown further added that though there has been progress in developing the CSME, weak economic growth and debt still remain critical for some Caribbean islands.
While we have made progress with respect to the single market, we need greater focus on advancing the single economy, particularly in those areas which would help to support a competitive single market. Financial development is a critical factor in achieving sustainable economic development. The majority of member states are constrained in their quest for development by weak economic growth and high levels of unsustainable debt. The CARICOM region is regarded as one of the most heavily indebted regions in the world. At the end of 2017, average debt level in the region exceeded 70%, with the majority of countries having debt to GDP ratios exceeding the international benchmark of 60% of GDP.
The CSME is designed to represent a single economic space within which people, goods, services, and capital can move freely, and as such it will require the harmonization and coordination of social, economic, and trade policies among the participating member states. The chair urged the other heads of state and ministers of finance to quickly address the issues of weighing on the financial development of CSME member states.
Our financial cooperation initiatives are therefore aimed at mobilizing financial resources within the community and attracting capital from new sources by enhancing the fiscal and investment regimes. It is against such a background that it is imperative for us to pursue urgently the efforts to advance the necessary legal measures to complete those initiatives. It is taking us far too long to finalize the instruments which have been before our councils for many years. Instead of flagging and flogging the issues, let us recommit to a more efficacious implementation of regional policy initiatives.
The Council for Finance and Planning is responsible for economic policy coordination, financial and monetary integration of member states. You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The National Youth Council of Dominica is encouraging young Dominicans to join in the appreciation and celebration of the elderly. This month, September, is being recognized as a month for the elderly, and the NYCD is partnering with the youth arm of the Dominica Council on Aging in highlighting the celebration. Speaking with GIS News on Wednesday, President of the National Youth Council, Paul Barron, urged young persons to make an effort to take care of elderly persons in their communities.
We feel as a young people we have a moral responsibility really to look after our elderly, since at some point we too may also grow old. And in most cases what we have found in the communities that the elderly simply requires some quality time, the opportunity to help them with their chores and such, and we're advocating and encouraging young persons to do such. Do not neglect your elderly, do not in any way be disrespectful and such, and that we should look up to them because they were really the ones who enabled a Dominica for us at this point whereby we can inherit. So as a council we feel of course it is our responsibility to do so.
Barron says one of the models for caring for the elderly to be emulated by other young groups is an initiative by the Good Hope Youth Group.
What we have seen is that just recently I had the opportunity to meet with the Good Hope Youth Group, and one of the activities that they're taking on, which can be a model for other parts of Dominica, is to spend some time, possibly a day with the elderly and assisting with the chores and such, spending some quality time, and also to prepare food hampers for them, things that they may need, because in some cases elderlies cannot regularly go to the shops or to the supermarkets and such, and so we are asking if you can do a small hamper. It doesn't have to be something out of the way, a few basic needs and items, and you can give to them. And that, I think, would go a very long way in meeting some of their needs.
One of the activities for celebrating the month of the elderly is a White and Madras Walk, which the NYCD and the youth arm of the Dominica Council on Aging will partner on.
September marks the month of the elderly, and we're collaborating with the Dominica Council of Aging Youth Arm to hold an activity in the Wesley, in the Northeast. Largely, they were the ones who reached out to us as an organization seeking our support, and since then we have agreed to do so. The theme for that walk is Koko is part of our culture, bearing in mind that the residents of those communities speak that dialect, and also to emphasize on the need to create an environment of care and one in which the elderly can feel comforted.
According to the president for the DCOA, Gloria Shillingford, the youth arm of the organization is an integral and active part of the organization.
They are able to help the elderly by going out to the various communities and engaging themselves in activities. As a matter of fact, not so long ago, after Hurricane Maria, the youth were able to go out there and help to repair a centenarian home in the village of Wesley. So that is a good one. And sometimes they go out, they help to clean and to comfort and to maybe read a story to the elderly. And the elderly can be lonely, and the youth can play a part in bringing back some of the joy that they once felt when they were younger.
And finally, this news time, the Ministry of Education on Wednesday conducted its annual orientation and one-day training session for primary and secondary school teachers. The orientation session got underway at the Newtown Primary School and engaged teachers from across the island. Opening of the new school year, originally announced for September 3rd, was rescheduled by the Ministry of Education for the 10th of September. The sessions, which were facilitated by various district education officers, covered numerous areas such as professional responsibilities of teachers and teachers' performance appraisals. The learning support advisors and the senior education officer for secondary schools conducted sessions on planning for the classroom and classroom management. The Office Measurement and Evaluation Unit and Guidance Counselor in the Ministry of Education covered sessions in student evaluation and assessment and identifying and working with students at risk. And that's the English segment of the news. Coming up next, Creole Highlights with Shaakira, Pierre.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel accueil. Non, moi c'est Shaakira Pierre. Premier ministre Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit parle code contentement pour effort là yon membre parlement qu'a fait pour représenter constituency. Pendant il était adressé constituents maho semaine passée, Premier ministre a dit yon membre parlement yo Honorable Raymond Blackmore c'est un haut ancien représentatif là qui a parlé pour sa constituency besoin. Premier ministre Skerrit complimenté membre parlement là à ce effort là il a fait pour aider constituency. Il dit Honorable Blackmore a joué un gros pas pour aider moun en tant les constituency besoin assistance. Premier ministre a dit il c'est un membre parlement qui bien organisé et puis il a mis tout document en place là il vient en cabinet pour représenter constituency. Honorable Blackmore a fait assessment bien clair et puis Premier ministre a dit là il présente information c'est bon information. Honorable Skerrit dit il voulait complimenter membre parlement là en public pour bon travail là il a fait. Honorable Skerrit a adressé une cérémonie là il annonce le gouvernement qui fait $3 millions available par deuxième degré là pour affaires caille en constituency Maho. À la nouvelle Council Moun à Soulage Dominica Council on Aging là a célébré mois Moun à Soulage on le 1er septembre pour le 1er octobre. L'année ça là mois Moun à Soulage qui est célébré en baptême là recognize résilience Moun à Soulage. Terme la ka kouye aso tout pour recogniser résilience la moun asoulage ni, spécialement après sa yo souffert après cyclone Maria. Président DCOA, Gloria Shillingford, remercie moun qui ka apprécié ces moun asoulage la. I aussi ka kouye aso d'autres moun pour basse moun asoulage la bon occupation. Shillingford bien plaisir gouvernement mette un programme en place, Yes We Care programme là, qui a fait certain tout le monde qui a soulage, qui pas de monde pour occuper yo, ka taper bon occupation. Pour moi, ça là, DCOA là, ni yon lot activité pour mener attention à ce monde à soulage. Ces activités ça là, c'est un programme à sous radio DBS et puis journée pour grands-parents à sous les 9 mois ça là. Aussi, yo ke ni yon journée pour sport en dieu blanc et puis yon la messe en la salette. Activité là qui fini et puis yon marche en Wesley et puis moun qui ka participer en marche ça là qui habillé en madras et puis blanc. Ministre Tourism Honorable Senator Robert Tong di ministre là qui a supporté mouvement là pour arrêter moun ka jeter produits plastiques. Ça c'est pour supporter mouvement là par gouvernement pour mettre un ban à sur tout produit plastique au 1er janvier l'année 2019. Un projet pour servir produits plastiques à sous carte pour oiseaux et puis communauté qui pour oiseaux. Pendant il était adressé en conférence média semaine passée, Honorable Tong dit projet ça là qui n'y a le bénéfice. Honorable Tong dit avant moun jeter ces produits plastiques là tout partout. Yo sa men les produits là pour faire un produit qui sa servi pour quelque chose d'autre. Honorable Tong dit qui implémentation Little Wardens qui wede pour awet moun qui ka jeter zori tout partout. Et puis finalement, ministre agriculture a commencé pour joindre et puis numéro stakeholders qui bénéficient de assistance back la terre pour Dominique par projet Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods et puis Climate Resilience. Après cyclone Maria, back la terre a assisté gouvernement et puis $18 millions pour aider planter pour vivre planter après dommage la cyclone la te fait. Et puis, un assessment est fait et puis résultat montré qui plus que 90% secteur agricole a été dommagé par cyclone Maria. Banque la terre après consultation et puis gouvernement fait agrément pour bas gouvernement la plus support pour réétablir secteur agricole par un additionnel $25 millions, yon par grant, yon par query. Mardi, ministre agriculture la joint et puis stakeholders pour discuter framework là pour management social et puis environnement là pour projet ça là. Projet ça là qu'a fait en 3 composantes. Premier component là c'est restauration based production là pour rebâtir agriculture. Deuxième component là c'est restauration infrastructure et puis institutional strengthening. Banque la terre là qui servi assessment là qui était fait après cyclone Maria code document là pour mener secteur là comment était avant cyclone là. Troisième component là c'est pour bâtir résilience et puis faire la place pour faire produits Dominique available. Moun qui bénéficie de projet ça là c'est planter, pêcher, planter forêt et puis moun qui ni petit business as affaires agriculture. Ça c'est tout pour nouvelle à Creole. Non moi c'est Shaakira Pierre. Au revoir.
Before we leave, here is one announcement. The parliamentary representative of the Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Joseph Isaac, invites all college students and parents of college students of the Roseau Central constituency to a special meeting to discuss college issues and future education opportunities on Thursday, September 6, 2018 from 6 p.m. at the Dominica Public Service Union building on Valley Road. And now today's tip. The simple act of paying attention does wonders, even if loved ones suffer from cognitive diseases such as Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia. After all, learning history and spending quality time together can benefit everyone and create irreplaceable memories. Our grandparents and parents raised us to believe in the importance of treating others with courtesy and respect. These past generations have held tight to their dignity, ethics, faith, honesty, and integrity, which is exactly why condescending or even inadvertent belittling is not okay, even when the goal is to protect and not to harm. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS on Facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and also follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I am Kimani. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.